Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's edition of FinTech News. I'm your host, Nicolas Beliveau, joined by Pascal. And today we're going to cover what's going on in the news in FinTech here in Canada and around the world. So today we'll be speaking about two initiatives from startups from our community, CheckPlease and Sprout, Square, which plans to become a bank, F10 in Singapore's new FinTech cohort, and lastly, a Japanese startup that raises $45 million despite the pandemic. So we'll kick it off right away with these two startups, CheckPlease and Sprout, that have tried to innovate despite what's going on globally to be able to address the situation. CheckPlease, they are an app to pay your bill at restaurants and bars, and they've come up with a number of initiatives. They're quite notable to be able to help out, especially local restaurateurs. For example, gift cards, because restaurants are having less and less cash flow. They're enabling people to purchase these gift cards to be able to generate some direct cash flow for these restaurants, even though you're not able to actually go dine at them. They launched an initiative to be able to gift pizzas to doctors in local hospitals, which is a really cool idea. And lastly, they just also announced a free app for restaurants to be able to enable them to do takeout. So just one really great, some actually great examples of what a fintech startup can do to help out. So yeah, congrats to the CheckPlease team. And we also want to give a shout out to Sprout, a startup from our Ascension program right away, which came out with a financial health checklist to be able for people to deal with COVID-19, whether through layoffs or just adapting to the new reality we're all facing. So they have a personal finance app, but they came up with this checklist. We'll be able to link it just so people are able to have a pulse on their financial health despite everything that's going on. So congrats to Sprout as well for taking the initiative to launch that. Last week, we're actually mentioning to all the fintechs in the Forbes list that we're contributing in some way, shape, or form. And so these are just two tangible examples of what startups from our community here in Canada is doing.
Congratulations, it's a really good initiative, and I'm glad that some startups are taking some action to help the community, especially in this rough time.
Yeah, absolutely. On to Square. So some news coming up from Square in the US.
Yes, Square, you know all Square. This is it's a company from US who help small business to accept card payment. It can be debit, credit card, whatever. And they was creating in 2009, and they tried to apply twice already to be to have a licensed banking in US, and finally they got it. And it's very interesting because what they want to do in their business models, they want to be able to offer loan and to offer other financial products that they were not able to do it right now. Since 2009, they were taking payments, they developed it in financing and POS as well. No, this is a new evolution for them to move to the banking system and to help a small business.
Awesome. Yeah, interesting. It's like they applied because it was twice before, right? They tried, and now we'll see if it actually plays out. But digital banks, and I think we'll talk about it later actually with what's happening in Japan, is becoming, well, right? Finance might change for good. Following this, so more challenger banks, more neobanks on the horizon.
Definitely. Let's see what will happen in the next few months.
In Singapore, 10 new startups have been accepted into the F10's new incubation program. So this is an incubator based out of Switzerland that launched a new branch in Singapore. So we just wanted to quickly showcase what these startups are working on and see what trends are emerging in these the new startups that were accepted. So they had over 200 applications, and the 10 are DEXTF, Fencor, Hedge SPA, Incredo, Mesh, Notarum, PicChain, Staple, and Tokenomic. So when we look through the list, the main trends are data management, investment tech, payments, and reg tech. Those are really the 4 verticals we spotted. So, enterprise data management platforms, another startup to gather data intelligence from financial PDFs. One is working on making to be able to do payments. It's similar to Stripe, but online payments using their banking app versus using a credit card. One RegTech one, which superpowers compliance teams to conduct better due diligence checks faster. Another RegTech with a mission to make compliance sustainable. So yeah, really cool, and we'll follow those along as well to see what comes out of that incubation program. But it's always interesting to see the trends coming out and the verticals that these incubators around the world are focusing on at this time. And lastly, we want to speak about Japan, and a startup, despite everything's going on, raised $45 million this week.
Yes, it's very cool. The startup is called K-Hash Inc. It's a startup from Japan. What they are doing, it's like a neobank, but you have a debit card and you are putting some money in your account, like what we have in Canada, like cohort, also Revolut, for example. And despite that they are not the biggest one in Japan, they managed to raise 45 million from 2 investors. One of them it's called Green Spring, and the other one is Good Water Capital. Okay. And what is interesting, it's they were managing with this 45 additional million, they managed to raise 73 million US dollar. It's quite a huge amount, and they believe, the CEO believe, and the investor believe, because you have a lot of couple of big name, big bank in Japan who invest in this startup. They believe that the trend is really in neobank, and these products are very popular with millennials, and that the trend is going this way. We'll see what will happen. They still have big competition, as I said, especially in telecommunications, in retail with Rakuten Group, that is Amazon of Japan, and they are present in all over Asia and also Europe. We'll see what will happen. But it's really cool to see this trend going.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So that wraps up our coverage for this week. Not that much going on in the space, honestly. Those were pretty much the highlights we spotted. But everything is slowing down. The pace is getting a bit slower. But yeah, you want to throw something?
I have a small note. If you want to know what is fintech, what are the trends in fintech in this economy, what happened right now, we organize a university series all across Canada, but it's available all around the world, and I encourage you to come. It's on Thursday at 4 p.m. Canadian time. We started last week, and this week we'll talk about the opportunity in fintech and what it's about to be in fintech. And please check out on our LinkedIn, on our Facebook, and I invite you to join this webinar, this web series.
100%. Thanks for mentioning that, Pascal, because yeah, we launched that. We're partnering up with a bunch of universities throughout Canada to be able to bring it, and we'll be bringing experts to talk about it. It's pretty much a FinTech 101. So if you want, Thursdays from 4 to 5 p.m., learn more about FinTech, engage with the community, invite you to come. It's free, and you could come to one, come to all. It's for the next 8 weeks while we're still staying at home, so you could still learn and discover more insights about what's going on in fintech. So Pascal, thanks so much for tuning in with me once again from home. I hope you're staying well. And for everybody watching, thanks for tuning in, and make sure you tune in again next week, Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. for another episode of FinTech News. Have a great week, everyone. And we'll be back with the French version just after this.
Thank you.